to do.
Mr. Dowd, what is it that you do?
Harvey and I sit in the bars, we have a drink or two, and play the jukebox. Soon the faces of all the other people turn towards mine, and they're smiling. They say, "We don't know your name, mister, but you're a lovely fellow." Harvey and I warm ourselves in all these cool moments. We enter as strangers. Soon we have friends. They come up to us. They sit with us. They drink with us. They talk to us. They tell us about the big, terrible things they have done and the big, wonderful things they hope to do. They tell us their hopes, their regrets, their loves, their hates, all very large, because nobody ever brings anything small into a bar. And then I introduce them to Harvey, and he is bigger and grander than anything they have to offer me. When they leave impressed. Same people seldom come back, but that's envy right here. There's a little bit of envy in the best of us. Too bad, isn't it?
How did you happen to call him Harvey?
Harvey's his name.
But how did you know that?
That's rather an interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night, several years ago, I was walking in the early evening along Fairfax, between 18th and 19th. You know that block?
Yes.
I had just helped Ed Hickey into a taxi. Ed had been mixing his rye with his gin, and I felt he needed some conveying. I started to walk down the street when I heard a voice saying, "Good evening, Mr. Dowd." I turned, and there was this great white rabbit leaning against the lamppost. Well, I thought nothing of it at that time, because when you have lived in town as long as I have lived in this one, you get used to the fact that everybody knows your name. So naturally, I went over to chat with him. He said to me, "Ed Hickey seems a little spiffed this evening, or could I be mistaken?" Well, of course he was not mistaken. I think the world and all of Ed, but he was spiffed. Well, anyway, we stood there and talked, and finally I said, "You have the advantage of me. You know my name, and I don't know yours." Right back at me, he said, "Well, what name do you like?" Well, I didn't even have to think a minute. Harvey has always been my favorite name. So I said, "Harvey." This is the interesting part of the whole thing. He says, "What a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey."
What was your father's name, Dad?
John Frederick.
When you were a child, you had a playmate, didn't you?
Oh.
Someone with whom you spent many happy, carefree hours.
Oh yes, Doctor. Didn't you?
What was his name?
Vern McElhaney. Did you know the McElhaneys, Doctor?
No.
There was a lot of them. They circulated. Wonderful people.
Think carefully, Dad. Wasn't there someone, somewhere, at some time by whom you knew the name of Harvey? Haven't you ever known anybody by that name?
Oh no, Doctor. No one. Maybe that's why I've always had such high hopes for it.
Come on, Wilson. We'll take Mrs. Dowd